Welcome to Sleepy Sounds Bedtime Stories. I am your robot teacher and narrator that will guide us through today's lesson. My name is Dreamweaver 20-3000. But you can call me Misty for short. Let us begin. In our stories about taking turns, we will learn how to share and wait for our turn. Taking turns means letting others have a chance to play and do things too. It's important to be patient and wait for our turn, because it's fair and kind. When we take turns, we show respect and make friends happy. So get ready for these fun stories that will teach us about sharing and waiting for our turn. Emma skipped into the house, her backpack bouncing on her shoulders, as she hurriedly closed the front door. Papa, who had just finished cleaning the kitchen, looked up and smiled. "Hey there, Emma. How was your day at school?" Emma plopped down on the couch next to Papa, a hint of frustration on her face. "Papa, you won't believe what happened today. My friend Nolan wasn't taking turns during recess, and it made me really mad." Papa listened attentively, his eyes filled with understanding. "Oh, I see. It sounds like that must have been frustrating for you. Can you tell me more about what happened?" Emma took a deep breath and began her story. "Well, during recess, we were playing on the swings, and there was a long line of kids waiting for their turn. But Nolan kept swinging for a long time and wouldn't let others have a chance. I tried to tell him it wasn't fair, but he didn't listen." Papa nodded, acknowledging Emma's feelings. It's tough when someone doesn't take turns. Sharing and taking turns are important skills to learn. It's about being fair and considerate to others. I can understand why it bothered you. Emma sighed, her frustration easing as she realized Papa understood. "Yeah, it made me feel left out, and I didn't like that Nolan wasn't being fair to everyone else." Papa put his hand on Emma's shoulder, offering comfort. "It's understandable to feel that way, Emma. Sometimes people forget or don't understand the importance of taking turns. But it's a good opportunity for us to learn and help others understand too. Do you have any ideas on how we can help Nolan learn about taking turns?" Emma pondered for a moment, her brow furrowing with concentration. "Maybe we can talk to our teacher about it, or find a way to remind Nolan that everyone deserves a turn. We could also show him by example, always taking turns ourselves." Papa smiled proudly. "Those are excellent ideas, Emma. I'm proud of you for thinking of ways to help Nolan understand the importance of taking turns. Remember, learning and growing together is what makes us stronger as a community." Emma's frustration melted away, replaced with a sense of empowerment and determination. "You're right, Papa. I want everyone to have a chance to enjoy their time and feel included. I'll talk to my teacher and try to help Nolan understand." Papa gave Emma a gentle squeeze. "I have no doubt that you'll make a positive difference, my dear. Your caring heart and willingness to help others shine brightly. Remember, it's important to be patient and kind while teaching others. Together we can make a difference, one turn at a time." With renewed confidence, Emma felt ready to tackle the situation. She knew that by leading with kindness and understanding, she could help Nolan realize the importance of taking turns and make recess a fair and enjoyable time for everyone. And so, armed with empathy and determination, Emma set out to make a difference, knowing that even a small act of kindness can create ripple effects of change. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Emma turned to Papa with a hopeful smile. "Papa, could you tell me a story about friends who learned the importance of taking turns?" Papa lovingly watched over her, his eyes filled with tenderness. With a gentle smile, he leaned closer and asked, "Emma, my dear, have you gone to the potty and brushed your teeth?" Emma, feeling the weariness of the day, nodded and replied in a drowsy voice, "Yes, Papa, I did." Papa's heart swelled with pride as he tucked her in, making sure the blankets were just right. "Well done, my sweet Emma," he whispered, his voice filled with warmth. He knew that these little bedtime rituals were not only essential for maintaining good hygiene, but also provided a sense of comfort and routine. With a loving touch, Papa smoothed Emma's hair away from her forehead and continued, "Now, as you settle into your soft bed, it's time to let your imagination soar. In the world of dreams, you can be anything you want to be, visit magical places, and embark on incredible adventures." With a sleepy voice and a glimmer of excitement in her eyes, Emma looked up at Papa and softly whispered, "Papa, can we have a story, please?" Papa's face lit up with a gentle smile as he replied, "Of course, my dear Emma." And so, nestled in the warmth of her bed, Emma eagerly awaited the magical tale that Papa would weave, ready to embark on one more enchanting adventure together. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town nestled among green meadows and tall trees, there lived a mischievous and playful puppy named Patch. Patch was known throughout the town for his boundless energy and adventurous spirit. Every day, he would roam the streets, wagging his tail and spreading joy wherever he went. One sunny morning, as Patch explored a nearby park, he stumbled upon a marvelous playground. The playground was bustling with children laughing and playing on swing slides and seesaws. Pat's eyes sparkled with delight, and his tail wagged furiously as he gazed at a magnificent seesaw in the center of the playground. It looked so much fun. Pat's two dear friends, Bella the bunny and Max the squirrel, happened to be passing by. They saw Pat's excitement and couldn't resist joining him on his adventure. Bella hopped over her floppy ears, bouncing with every leap, and Max scurried down from a nearby tree, his fluffy tail twitching in anticipation. Patch wasted no time and rushed to the seesaw. Bella hopped on one side and Max perched on the other. The seesaw teetered up and down, bringing laughter to Bella and Max's faces. Patch couldn't contain his excitement and jumped onto the seesaw, causing Bella to fly up into the air. But Max, being wise and patient, gently stopped Patch. "Wait, Patch," Max said, his tiny paws tapping the ground. "We need to take turns. It's Bella's turn now, and then it will be yours." Pat's ears drooped and he felt a bit disappointed. "Why do we have to wait?" he asked with a curious tilt of his head. Max smiled kindly and sat down next to Patch. "Taking turns means giving each other a chance," he explained. "When we wait for our turn, we learn patience, kindness, and the joy of sharing. It makes the playtime fair and enjoyable for everyone." Patch pondered Max's words, and as he watched Bella giggling and having a blast on the seesaw, he started to understand. He saw the happiness on Bella's face and realized that waiting for his turn would make his experience even better. With newfound patience, Patch sat down beside Bella, waiting eagerly for his turn. He noticed other children at the playground waiting too, taking their turns on the swing slide and merry-go-round. Some read books or chatted with their friends while they waited. Patch admired their patience and started to see the beauty in waiting and sharing. As Bella's turn came to an end, Patch's excitement grew. He felt a sense of anticipation as he climbed onto the seesaw. Bella and Max cheered him on, their enthusiasm infectious. Patch flew up into the sky, his fur ruffled by the wind, and let out a joyful bark as he landed back on the ground. It was an exhilarating feeling, but as Patch came down, he noticed something. Bella and Max were waiting patiently, their tails wagging in anticipation. Pat's heart swelled with warmth and a sense of gratitude. "It's your turn now," he exclaimed, a twinkle in his eyes. "I'll wait and cheer for you." Bella and Max were surprised but delighted. They hopped onto the seesaw, taking turns, and shared the same exhilaration Patch had experienced. Patch watched with joy, feeling the happiness radiating from his friends. From that day forward, Patch understood the true magic of taking turns. He embraced patience and realized that waiting for his turn allowed him to appreciate the joy of playtime even more. Patch, Bella, and Max continued their adventures, always taking turns, sharing their laughter, and creating unforgettable memories. As the seasons passed, the playground became a place where children and animals alike learned the value of taking turns. Pat's story of learning the importance of waiting and sharing spread throughout the town. More and more animals joined in practicing patience and kindness, and the playground became a symbol of friendship and harmony. And so the three friends, Patch, Bella, and Max, together with their newfound friends, discovered that the simple act of waiting, sharing, and taking turns created a bond of friendship and happiness that would last a lifetime. Papa looked at Emma with a gentle smile. "So Emma, what do you think Patch learned from that adventure?" he asked. Emma pondered for a moment before answering. "I think Patch learned that taking turns is important because it's fair. When we take turns, everyone gets a chance to play and have fun." Papa nodded in agreement. "That's absolutely right, Emma. Taking turns is not only fair, but it also helps us practice patience, respect, and consideration for others." Emma's eyes sparkled with understanding. "Yes, Papa. If Patch hadn't taken turns, his friends wouldn't have had a chance to play, and they would have felt sad." Papa beamed with pride at Emma's insight. "Exactly, my dear. When we take turns, we show kindness and empathy towards others. We create a positive and inclusive environment where everyone can participate and enjoy themselves." Emma nodded and continued, "And I guess taking turns also helps us appreciate the value of patience. It teaches us that waiting for our turn can make the experience even more enjoyable." Papa smiled warmly at his wise little girl. "You're absolutely right, Emma. Sometimes waiting for our turn can build anticipation and make the moment even more special. It allows us to practice self-control and understand the importance of sharing and cooperation." Emma leaned back against her pillow, feeling satisfied with their conversation. "Thank you, Papa. I understand now why taking turns is important. It's not just about playing fair, but also about being considerate and respectful towards others." Papa reached over and gently tousled Emma's hair. "You've grasped the lesson perfectly, my dear. Taking turns is a wonderful way to show kindness and create harmony in our interactions with others." As Emma looked up at Papa with a hopeful smile, she softly asked, "Papa, can you tell me one more story? Just one more?" Papa chuckled softly, understanding her love for bedtime stories. "Of course, Emma. This will be the last one for tonight. What kind of story would you like to hear?" Emma's eyes gleamed with excitement. How about a story about a magical forest where animals learn to share and take turns?" "That sounds like a good idea, Emma." Once upon a time, in a magical bamboo forest nestled at the base of a majestic mountain, there lived a curious and adventurous red panda named Ruby. Ruby's fur was a vibrant shade of crimson, and her big round eyes sparkled with mischief. She spent her days exploring the forest, leaping from tree to tree and discovering new wonders at every turn. One sunny morning, as Ruby was hopping from branch to branch, she stumbled upon a hidden treasure, a magnificent spinning wheel. Its colorful petals gleamed in the sunlight, and it seemed to whisper promises of excitement and enchantment. Ruby's heart skipped a beat with anticipation as she approached the spinning wheel, but to her surprise, she wasn't alone. Perched on a nearby branch, an old and wise owl named Oliver observed Ruby's excitement with keen interest. Oliver had seen many forest creatures fall under the spell of the spinning wheel's allure. He knew the valuable lessons it held and decided to share his wisdom with Ruby. "Greetings, young Ruby," hooted Oliver, his voice filled with wisdom. "That spinning wheel is a magical toy, but its magic lies in the art of taking turns." Ruby tilted her head, her fluffy tail swaying with curiosity. "What do you mean, taking turns?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Oliver gracefully glided down from the branch and perched next to Ruby. "Taking turns means allowing others to have a chance to experience the joy and wonder of the spinning wheel," he explained. "It's about sharing fairness and embracing the magic of togetherness." Ruby listened intently, her ears perked up. She understood the concept of sharing, but couldn't help the excitement that welled up within her at the thought of keeping the spinning wheel all to herself to spin it over and over again. Sensing Ruby's inner conflict, Oliver gently guided her with his wisdom. "Ruby, imagine the joy and laughter that will fill the forest when you invite others to take their turn on the spinning wheel," he said. "The happiness you'll witness in their eyes will far outweigh the fleeting joy of spinning alone." Ruby closed her eyes and envisioned the forest animals gathering around the spinning wheel, patiently waiting for their turn. She imagined the shared laughter, the friendships that would blossom, and the sense of unity that would fill the air. With a determined smile, Ruby made a promise to herself. She would embrace the magic of taking turns and share the spinning wheel with her forest friends. She climbed onto the wheel, gave it a gentle spin, and called out to the animals nearby. One by one the animals arrived. A playful squirrel, a graceful deer, a colorful bird, and even a mischievous monkey. They formed a circle around the spinning wheel, eagerly waiting for their turn. Ruby watched with delight as each animal took their chance, their faces lighting up with joy and excitement. As the wheel spun and laughter filled the air, Ruby's heart swelled with happiness. She realized that the true magic of the spinning wheel was not in spinning it herself, but in witnessing the joy it brought to others. The forest became a symphony of shared happiness and newfound friendships. From that day forward, Ruby and her forest friends embraced the enchantment of taking turns. They discovered that in sharing the spinning wheel they shared something far greater: friendship, laughter, and the joy of togetherness. And so in the heart of the bamboo forest, Ruby and her forest friends taught one another the valuable lesson of taking turns. They created a bond that grew stronger with each shared adventure and cherished moment. And if you listen carefully, deep within the forest you might catch a faint melody of laughter and the gentle spin of the wheel, a reminder to all who encounter it of the magic that unfolds when we embrace the joy of taking turns. And as Emma lay there in that peaceful moment, the room filled with the whispers of imagination and the soft embrace of dreams. Papa's stories were like a bridge connecting their hearts, and Emma felt a world of possibilities unfold before her, just waiting to be explored. In the hushed tranquility of the bedtime, our Papa's gentle presence lingered, a constant reminder of the love that surrounded Emma. As she drifted closer to slumber, her heart danced with anticipation, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures, new stories, and a deepening bond between her and Papa. And so, with a sleepy smile and a heart brimming with love, Emma finally closed her eyes, ready to embrace the enchantment that awaited her. The room embraced her in its comforting embrace, and as her breathing steadied into a peaceful rhythm, Papa's whispers of love and bedtime stories echoed softly in her dreams. Papa stood at the door, his eyes filled with a mix of affection and admiration. He took one last look at Emma,